Hi, I'm Ellie, and welcome to Chamber Chatting. We are here with Elaine Roberts of Dispute Resolution Center of Montgomery County, and one of her volunteers, David Dewhurst. Hello.
Hello, thank
Hi.
you for having us.
Well, thank you for being here. So, Elaine, tell me about what is Dispute Resolution of Montgomery County?
Okay, well, the DRC, as we like to call ourselves as a shorthand name, was established in 1988 by the Commissioners Court and the Montgomery County Bar Association.
Okay.
And we're a private nonprofit which enables people to settle their own disputes themselves by providing mediation services that are high quality at an affordable price,
Okay.
as well as dispute resolution training and community education programs.
Okay. Elaine, what is your role at DRC?
I'm the executive director at the DRC. We have a small staff. There's only 3 paid staff, but we're run primarily through the dedication of our volunteers. We have approximately 50 volunteer mediators who
Nice.
come in and volunteer their time in order to make their community a better, nicer place and to give people an opportunity to resolve their disputes peacefully.
So, when you have a volunteer mediator, does that mean that someone is an attorney like yourself, or?
They may be, but they're not required to be.
Okay.
In Texas, we typically look for someone who has completed a 40-hour mediation training class, and because we get so many family mediation classes, that they've also done the 24-hour statutorily required family mediation training.
Okay.
But we have people from all walks of life. We look for people who are good communicators, who have empathy for people, who want to serve the community. So it's not necessary that someone be an attorney. The mediator doesn't make a judgment on the case, doesn't decide who's right or wrong. The mediator just acts as a facilitator to help the parties to communicate.
Okay.
So they basically resolve their own problems if they can.
Okay.
And if not, it at least helps them to reestablish communication and to understand the other person a little bit better.
Okay, this may be something that you can't say, but is what might be a case or a dispute that you, like an example of a dispute? Is it things like divorce or family or work or?
It can be all of the above.
Okay.
We can handle any type of dispute. It doesn't have to be in litigation yet. So if you and your neighbor get in an argument and you want to have an ongoing relationship and resolve that dispute,
Uh-huh.
you could come into the DRC, sit through a mediation, and if possible, work up an agreement.
Okay.
But we also do divorce proceedings, custody proceedings, employment issues, disability-related issues, probate issues, just the whole gamut of any type of dispute that parties can have, we work with.
So what would be your goal in a dispute overall? Is it to keep it kind of the court dockets from filling up? Is it to try to make some sort of resolution before it gets too cumbersome or before it gets too heavy legal?
Okay.
I don't know what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does. Basically, Texas has legislation in effect that's called the Dispute Resolution Act.
Okay.
And since the 1980s, they came to the realization that courts can't always do it by themselves, and particularly in cases where children are involved, maybe it's better that the parties resolve as quickly as possible
Okay.
and free the courts to only look at those cases where the
Makes sense.
people can't resolve their own cases. So we, as facilitators, we don't try and force anything, but we give people the opportunity to try and resolve it, and then that, of course, benefits the community. It saves taxpayer dollars
Sure.
because they're not having to pay jury fees, trial-related expenses. It saves the individuals expenses. They're not paying protracted litigation or extensive attorney's fees. And it's also good for the community because it helps the people who know the most about their situation to come to an agreement that resolves things. And hopefully it helps them build an ongoing relationship. If I could give you an example of one
Sure.
kind of case that we had a case that came into the DRC a couple of years ago that was very impactful because it was a neighborhood dispute.
Okay.
Some young individuals had done damage to one of the neighbors' property, and the neighbors were of course divided as to which side of the dispute they were on.
Yeah.
People weren't talking to each other. Tensions were getting really high when the case was assigned by one of the courts to the DRC for mediation. By the time that the parties left the mediation that day, because they'd had a chance to actually sit down with a trained facilitator, someone that helped them communicate in a neutral way, they were exchanging recipes, hugging each other, and planning a neighborhood barbecue.
Wow.
Nice.
And that's the kind of thing you can't get in court.
Yeah.
Courts have limited amount of time, they have rules of procedure about what they can hear, what they can't
Okay.
hear, whereas in a mediation, we're free to explore all of the options. It gives them an opportunity to resolve a dispute in a way that's the most beneficial to them and in a way that makes sense for the parties who know the most about the dispute. When someone comes in with a child custody matter into the court, the judge has typically never seen the child, will never get a chance to see the child, only knows what is admissible evidence about who's the better parent. Whereas the parents can, if they come in and they do a mediation, they can craft an agreement that's in the best interest of that child.
Yeah.
And who knows the kids better than the
parents.
parents? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
That's an incredible tool that I think a lot of communities don't have, and what an honor it is to have it here in Montgomery County. So Elaine, you have brought a volunteer, Mr. David Dewhurst. David, tell me about your volunteer experience.
Well, I got into the Dispute Resolution Center arena, as it were, because a former director wanted to put on a training, and she said if I would do the audio visuals for her, she put me through the training for nothing.
Tradesies.
Yeah, so I actually went through with three other people. One was an attorney from Dallas, and the other two people are from here. And all three of us actually from here, not the lady from Dallas, are still volunteering at the Dispute Resolution Center. So after I went through the initial training, I did the family training that Elaine alluded to, and I just really liked doing it.
Yeah.
However, I've got to say this, for a while, a few years, it was hard to do the mediation because we didn't always get the support that we wanted. However, since Elaine moved in, and I'm not just saying that because Elaine is here. What I was saying was that since Elaine came in, it's been like night and day. Because she just changed everything around. She's been really good with the mediators. Facilities a lot better. She really supports us. She even sends us off on the annual TAM, which is Texas Association of Mediators Conference,
Okay.
Cool.
which we're actually going to this year.
Exactly.
Very
So
good.
that's pretty good. And what I get out of it is I give a service to the community. However, what I get back is a lot of satisfaction. When you see two parents who come in and they're at loggerheads over what's going to happen to the kids, and they go out that day, and not only have they got a written agreement, a contract, they're also talking to each other again, and they've come to realize the one big important thing, which is the fact that it's all about the kids normally. If there's
Yeah.
children involved in the divorce, it's all about the kids. And what we do is we make them watch a film which puts the emphasis on the kids. And I just think it's a great service to the community. Plus, it saves a lot of money for the county,
Yeah.
because it keeps a lot of stuff out of the courts. And as Elaine said, I mean, who knows more about the kids than the parents?
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome. So Elaine, how does a nonprofit like the DRC benefit from a chamber membership?
We benefit in a lot of ways. Since I've been here for the last 3 years, we've been a member of the chamber, and one of the reasons that I wanted to do that is to give us a way to get the community to know us
Yeah.
and get a chance to know people in the community. It doesn't matter if you have great services if nobody knows about it. We have a very small advertising budget, but through our work with the chamber and our participation in the activities, we get a lot of exposure to different organizations, to different people, to different activities. And we have found that we've gotten excellent volunteers through the
Yeah.
chamber. As you probably know, most chamber members are very active community members anyway.
Absolutely.
And, once they know that there's a need in the community, chamber members have been wonderful about stepping in and helping. For example, the community relations team
Yep.
in 2015 came into one of our primary activities. And maybe I should explain how that comes about. We not only educate adults, but each year we do an anti-bullying program in the schools
Okay.
for grades K through 8. And we now have every school district in the area participating. And it's an art contest that challenges the kids to come up with creative ways to resolve disputes peacefully, to say no to bullies, and just to make their communities, their homes, and their schools more peaceful. We have over 2,200 entries in a year.
Wow.
So you can imagine with a staff of 3, there's no way that we could put on a contest like
Yeah.
that. We have a large ceremony that celebrates the winners. We display the bookmarks in the courthouses and in the libraries. There's no way as a 3-person office we could handle that kind of volume, but it's such an important event. We came to the community relations team and asked them for assistance, and they brought in a team of people who helped us with the ceremonies. This year they've helped us with the judging. We had to have 30 judges because we had so many
Wow.
entries.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, so it helps us to leverage, as a small nonprofit, helps us to leverage what we can do to serve the community. And there's so many ways that the chamber offers a nonprofit to be able to advertise its programs, like on the website, through discussions at the different meetings, through placement on the calendar. I mean, there's just a multitude of ways that we don't have a large budget to be able to afford to purchase that advertising, but we get blanket coverage. We sponsor, we act as sponsor for the employment law
Yep.
update, as well as for the volunteer appreciation luncheon in
Yes.
April. And through that, we get several months of coverage
Yeah.
that is just totally invaluable to us.
Well, good. So what is one way that chamber members can give back or get involved in the DRC?
Well, we're always seeking good volunteer mediators like
Okay.
David, and in order to do that, they would simply go to our website. There's a volunteer application that gives us information about their background, training, and experience, and they submit that to our volunteer coordinator. We also have the conflict resolution contest,
Okay.
where they can act as judges, they could act in putting the ceremonies together, in working with the school districts, any of those things. And that would also come in through a volunteer application, but it's another way that they could serve. We have needs, administrative needs, that we're looking for people to act like as librarians for our lending library,
Yeah.
about mediation and dispute resolution, things like that. We have all of our listings on our website, which is www.resolution-center.org.
Okay, so Elaine, last question. What is one thing that people might not know about the DRC?
I think the people would be surprised, or may not all know, the high quality of volunteer mediators that we have. As David was saying, so many of our people have been with us for years. And even though the average lifespan for a volunteer is 2.5 years, most of our people have been with us 5 years or more, some as
Wow.
many as 20 years.
Wow.
We sponsor training, we send our volunteers, we look at it as an investment to keep them current, to go to new training programs, and the quality of mediation that they get at the center is not at all reflected in the price. Many of those same volunteer mediators can go out and command $200 to $300 an hour, but they come and they give their time and their talent to make their communities a more peaceful place. So don't let the fact that we are a sliding scale affordable service deter you from coming to the center, because you will get good service, you will get dedicated mediators who want to help you succeed, and I think it's just an invaluable service to the community.
Well, Elaine, it just dawned on me. Why don't we just talk about our success rate? You got more access to the figures than I do.
Oh, that's a really good point, David. I forgot to mention that. I think that's another thing that will surprise people to learn. But nationwide, there's about an 80% success rate for mediations, meaning that people who come to a mediation will resolve some or all of their dispute.
Wow.
And that they're more likely to carry through. We've recently been pleased to know that we've had a 90% success rate on some of our cases, which is an amazing fact.
High five
when you
on
think
that
about
one.
it.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. So it just shows the quality of the mediators and how they can facilitate people talking that maybe haven't talked in years.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. I mean, it sounds like a true situation where everybody wins at the end of it, including our community, with keeping our tax dollars out of the court systems and things like that. So it's a phenomenal organization and asset to our community, and I thank you for being a part of it, both of you.
Well, thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for joining us in Chamber Chatting today. You guys are our first interview back to the new year, so thanks for helping us kick
Happy
it
New
off.
Year
Happy
to
New Year.
everyone.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
We'll talk to you next time. This is Allie,
This is Holly.
and this is Two Peas in a Podcast, where we tell you what's going on at the Chamber this week.
So, Ellie, I am super excited. So, January 18th is the networking breakfast at 7:01 a.m. because 7 is
o'clock?
far too
Just
early.
early.
Yes, and it will be held at Fleming's.
Yep.
It's the breakfast is $10 for members and $15 for prospective members if they register online. The theme this for January is New Year, New Outlook, one thing to change for the better.
Oh, I have like 100 resolutions
I know,
this
me
year,
too.
I feel like.
And one of them is not going to the gym. Sorry.
Ooh, I want that resolution too.
So tell us what else is going on in January of 2017. And again, Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to you. Well, we hope that your New Year's resolution is to get back involved with the Chamber this year.
Yes.
And one of the best ways to do it is A, networking breakfast, and B, the Economic Outlook Conference. It's coming up at the end of the month, January 27th, the Woodlands Waterway Marriott from 8 to 1. Y'all, it's a fantastic event.
I totally geek out at this event.
Well, we sell
I
out
really
almost
do.
every year.
Oh, I'm
so
sure.
Make sure you've got your tickets. You can go to eocthewoodlands.com and get your tickets. Buy them today because we will sell out.
Yes.
So we have a fantastic lineup. This is the what's to what of business in the Woodlands. So
Yes.
be there.
Absolutely. So this is Holly P.
And this is Ellie P.
And this is Two Peas in a Podcast.
See you next time.